Liam, I've done things as well. 2 things.
What things have you done?
One of them, which I'll start with as the opener, is a podcast, which technically I haven't finished because podcasts and they're different, and we're doing one. Ours hasn't finished and probably won't finish for quite a while. But it's a podcast called Happy Face.
Okay.
Which is I was just on Spotify on the podcast section, and because it's Halloween, they were pushing a load of like true crime stuff. But this podcast, so basically, it's a podcast by How Stuff Works. I don't know them particularly, but it's about there was a serial killer in the 90s who was going around murdering women, I think it was. They called him the Happy Face Killer because he used to, when he wasn't getting recognition for killing people, he would leave letters and he'd always put a smiling face on them. So they called him the Happy Face Killer. But basically this podcast is his daughter, Melissa Moore, going round, and like one of the episodes is her going and talking to her mum, one of them is her talking to an ex-boyfriend, and it's all like her talking about how what it's like to be the daughter of a serial killer.
Okay.
And it's fascinating. Like, she talks about all these stories that in retrospect now that she knows that he's this killer, are kind of terrifying. But at the time she was like, he's my dad. Like,
does she find it terrifying as well?
I don't think so. I think she finds it's so far it sort of seems like she clearly she's like upset and kind of horrified by what he did. Yeah. But like, I feel like it's been long enough that she seems to have come to terms with a lot of it.
Yeah.
But like, he was like kind of a sociopath as well, who like, he split up from their mum because she had a sister, and I think it might have just been her and her sister, but they went and lived with the dad because the dad basically convinced everyone that it was the mum's fault they'd split up. Yeah. And then, like, she said, after this had all come out and she was then talking to her mum was just like, no, a lot of that stuff is just lies that he was telling you about me to make you think it was me. So it's like crazy how messed up this guy is. Yeah. And it's fascinating hearing someone talk about it. And like, there's only 4 episodes so far. I can't wait for the next one, because at the end of the last episode, she was talking about how she has this thought where she's like, what if I'm like him? Because she said her sister looks like her mum, but she looks exactly like her dad. Yeah. And she said and he has said to her before, like, her dad said to her, you should be in jail with me because you're a killer like me. And she's like,
it sounds really interesting, but it also sounds like a great premise for like a fictional podcast as well.
Yeah, I had to check when I first saw it, because I was like, is this a fiction thing or true? Because I don't know, because it sounds like a fictional thing. But like, it's honestly, I think everyone should go listen to it. I'm a huge true crime fan. I don't think I talk about that on here very much, but no, I love true crime. I'm really struggling to say it. I love true crime, and this is like fascinating.
The only thing is, I guess it could potentially. You've got to be careful with something like this for it to not become like almost exploitative. Like, if she went and, for example, spoke to like... Yeah, no, I get that. But if she went and spoke to like one of the victims, for example...
Well, it's difficult... Firstly, Liam, it's quite difficult to talk to the victims of a serial killer.
What about their family?
Hence the name. Yeah, which she hasn't done.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Will.
Yeah, being the daughter of a serial killer, I imagine a lot of those victims' families probably aren't like, come and talk to us.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I mean. Like, I don't think she potentially would never go and do that anyway.
Don't throw your fucking bullshit in and be like, well, maybe it's exploitation, when there hasn't been at all. If that comes up in a future episode, then yes, that's fine. You can complain. But there hasn't been yet. Shut your face. Go listen to Happy Face.
Well, we'll see. I never really find time to listen to podcasts.
I listen to a lot of podcasts.
I got way into Serial when that first came out, like a few years ago.
Yeah, this has got a very Serial feel to it.
Okay.
So you probably would like this.
The thing is, listening to like a really well put together podcast like Serial, or there's like a really great classic film one called You Must Remember This, just depresses me when I then listen to ours.
Ours is a beautiful piece of well thought out architecture that we've done there.
It's something.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, I'm not going to rate it because it's not finished yet. So It's more just like, I'm probably not going to talk about this much because it's just a podcasty thing. We don't really review them, but I wanted to talk about it.
No, I've now got to come up with like a new image for our YouTube videos for when I.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
For podcasts. Sorry about that.